No, okay. This is season 13, episode 5, Married at First Sight review. It is at night though, so I know I cannot cackle loudly. So we're gonna see how this works doing the review right after it goes off. Don't really know how this is gonna work. I'm using my phone. Got this whole little lighting thing. This is a lot. But I do want to first say thank you to everybody who donated to my donors choose from last week. Y'all knocked it out the park so much that I ended up was able to go ahead and make my next one. So that one is down in the comment in the description. But there's something a little more important that I really wanted to bring to y'all's attention that I would really love if I could get your help on. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm asking for money in every video, but this is extremely appropriate. So I have a frat brother whose house burned down. He has a very big heart, and he let a family of 4 who had fallen on hard times stay with him while they were kind of getting themselves together. Unfortunately, one of the adults decided to cook something, and they left the stove unattended, and it caught his house on fire. And he has lost everything. And when I say he's lost everything, he's a musician. He owns a music shop here in Charlotte. It was under renovations. He was storing all of his equipment at his house when all of this happened. Amps, microphones, mixers, all of that gone. And when I say he lost everything, he lost everything. I literally went and bought him 2 pairs of shoes like 2, 3 days ago. He has barely anything except for the stuff that, like his friends and family are just not trying to get for him just to be able to get by. He has a GoFundMe that's been created to help him raise money so that he can rebuild his house. Like the foundation, everything is still there, but he's gonna rebuild it. So he has a GoFundMe. It would mean the world to him, and it would mean the world to me if some of my scatterbrains could donate anything to help him out. I know someone will say, did he have insurance? Unfortunately, he was in between carriers, and we know that's not something that you're supposed to do, but sometimes we make decisions that are just not the best. But so yeah, there's that. There's a lot more to the story, but we don't have time for that, and that's not what y'all came here for. But the link to his GoFundMe is down in the description. His name is CJ. Like I said, he's my frat brother. If y'all could donate, great. If you could just share it, that will mean a lot as well. But let's get to the review. I'm just trying to get used to this whole setup, having this thing in my ear. Hopefully the microphone is good. The episode wasn't really that great. I mean, I had some moments where we laughed about some things we probably weren't supposed to laugh at. I don't think we'll have as good a time as we did last week, but we'll go through everything that's happened. The couple that will go ahead and just get out the way is Michaela. So of course, at the end of last episode, we knew that Zach wasn't feeling too great, and we all kind of assumed it was because he probably had the coronavirus. I mean, when you're filming a show in the middle of a parallelogram, what do you think is going to happen? And he said a couple of episodes ago that I guess one of his close friends had tested positive. So, I mean, it was kind of like it was just a matter of time. Oh, it was just a matter of time before, he might have as well. So he did test positive for COVID. However, Michaela tested negative, which was interesting because I'm like, y'all been like sucking each other's faces since y'all met. But COVID is crazy. So we did not see a lot of them. We just saw a lot of self tapes because the production crew was like, we are not coming around, y'all. Y'all got the cooties. It ain't about to happen. And that's pretty much all that really happened with Michaela. They checked in with Rose at one point, but it wasn't much really to talk about there. Let me just check my notes really quick. Oh, so because he has COVID, she didn't really want to leave him, but she ended up flying back to Houston, and he is staying in Florida at the retirement home to quarantine, which I was like, it's crazy because, at one point, you had to quarantine for like 2 weeks or until you get a negative test. And last I watched Married at First Sight, this process was only like 8 weeks. And so I'm like, that's a large chunk out of this process. That's like 20% of the time, 25% of the time that they might not be around each other. But hopefully he'll get a negative test quickly, and they can just move on. The next couple that I had not a lot of notes for was Brian. You know, I don't know if it's just because we didn't see them that much, or maybe I just didn't pay attention that much. They're the couple that is um, the least interesting, out of everybody. Just being honest. But oh, and during this episode, all the couples, sans Michaela, meet at the pool. So that happens at one point, and we'll get to that. Let's see. They talk about going to the pool. Ryan and his sweat glands. They were just glanding out as they always are. They talk about when was the last first date, where was it at. They go get a massage. The biggest thing for them is they talk about kids and how they're supposed to look. Ryan and his sweat glands have very clear has a very clear vision on what he wants as far as kids. He wants boy, boy, girl. If they can get some twins in there, that'll be good. But having kids for him is a non-negotiable, and I'm pretty sure that that's something he probably told the experts and the casting team when he, decided to do this show. But Brett didn't really seem like she was on that bandwagon of I definitely want kids, because I mean I think Ryan and his sweat glands were pretty clear about what he wanted, but Brett seemed like she was a little unsure, and I think that that happens sometimes for women, especially when you get a certain age. But we're not gonna get into all of that because it ain't that deep. They talk about attraction. They get on a hammock. It was cute. Oh, that's a big deal breaker for Ryan and his sweat glands. Want to make sure that we are clear about that, and we can move on from them. The next couple, go to the top, was at the top. So Girla. Uh, Myrla showed us a lot of the stuff that we're not really interested in seeing from her as far as personality is concerned. Like a lot of that, like bougie stuff, like we really don't want to see it. We really don't, but it is what it is. But she's disgusted by their breakfast options that they're giving. They're giving some giant croissant. That croissant looked big though. I ain't even gonna lie. That looked like a big A croissant, and some fruit, but there was no protein, and she did not get her almond milk. And apparently, she had told the people down at the front desk at the retirement home that she wanted her almond milk, and they sent her, and they sent her that good old cow's milk. Okay, almond milk is pretty good though. Now the sun has risen at Shady Pines. Shout out to the Golden Girls. But the sun has risen and we get a better view of Shady Pines. And I'll say the water at Shady Pines looked nice. But the grassy marsh area that they were talking about last week, it doesn't look that great. I mean, just I told y'all last week that doesn't look like a place that I would want to stay at. And seeing the sun come up and the size of the pool, I was like, Lifetime, y'all, that's all the money y'all had. Y'all been sending all these other people to these lavish places. Granted, we can't go out the country because we in the whole prestidigitation, but that's the best that y'all could do. I mean, I feel like the Florida Keys has more to offer than Shady Pines, but I may be wrong. But they ask each other, like on a scale from 1 to 10, where's your happiness at? And both of them are pretty high. I think despite Mirla's facade, she is happy with Gil. And despite Gil's struggles with Girla, he's happy with Myrla. He's happy with her as well. So we'll go ahead and talk about the couples meetup. Like I said, it's everybody except Zakayla, obviously, and Myrla. Myrla had some work to do, so she did not get to join the couples down at the pool. So they all kind of just sat around, caught up. This is the guys' first time meeting the wives, and vice versa. So everybody's kind of introducing themselves, seeing where everybody is, who's kissed. Did they talk about being intimate? I don't remember if that was one of the questions. Yeah, they talked about intimacy towards the end. Brian gets there first, then it's Rose, then Gil by himself, and then Bonnie. Rose are all over each other. It just is what it is. And Gil does a lot of talking about Mirla. I mean, I like Gil. I like Gil. And I like the fact that Gil does not take Mirla too seriously. Like, he is really like, I mean, I get that you bougie and everything, but I really don't care. I'm just going to tell it like it is. So I like that about Gilbert. I was gonna say Gilberto, but I felt like that might have been offensive, so we're just gonna stick with Gilbert. He said he treats her like a toddler. You know, she throws her little fits, and he just gonna wait it out, give her some food, and she'll be all right. Now, Myrla doesn't know about any of these comments, and we're all pretty sure that once Myrla does hear about it, that she's not gonna be too happy about what Gilbert had to say about her. But everybody's really shocked when they find out that Bonnie knew each other prior to this. You know, I think that that's something that we are all excited about. You know, to really see how that continues to affect them. So let me go back up to Gearla. What else happened with them? He asked her. Oh, they bring up the whole kissing thing because when they were with the couples were talking about kissing and all of that kind of stuff. And at this point in the show, Girla are the only ones who have not kissed each other on the lips. All she's giving him is cheek action, and I'm not talking about the two in the back. She is not gonna give up no kisses no time soon. She says when she went on dates, first, second, third date, she still wasn't giving up the lips. And I'm not. Okay, move on. He asked her, we're gonna move on from the kissing. How do you feel love? Obviously, she says gifts. Mirla is a materialistic person. It just is what it is. It doesn't mean she's a bad person. It just means she's materialistic. And I think we all have come to that realization that we are going to hear a lot about material things. She makes it a point to let us know that the ring needs to be upgraded. And I don't blame her. I mean, the rings are very basic because Lifetime was like, we ain't about to spend a whole bunch of money on these rings and such, and y'all might even stay together. We see our own track record. We see that y'all, most of y'all don't stay together. We don't have a good track record, so we're not about to spend a whole bunch of money on diamonds and stuff just for y'all to break up and all that kind of stuff. I wonder though, for the couples who do break up, like past seasons, do they have to give those rings back, or can they keep them and pawn them and all that kind of stuff? I, is that this making that noise? Y'all can't hear that, but I don't know. Y'all probably can't hear that noise, but whatever. Yeah. So she said the ring needs to be updated. He surprises her with a nice spread later that evening. They have some macarons, and he says it's just a fancy cookie. It's a bougie cookie, but he likes it. But he was chewing it like he was eating white bread. Y'all ever had white bread at the cookout, and the white bread gets stuck to the roof of your mouth, and you got to do all that to get it out. That's how he was chewing the macaron. I never had a macaron. They look like they taste ashy. Like they just don't look like they got any soul in them. I mean, they just look like they need moisturization. That's what they need. But they might be good. So Carmen said she wanted to make some. So I think we're gonna try to find some little recipe, try to make us some macarons, and see what the hype is about. But she's appreciative of the little surprise, and you know, he says, just give me some chocolate chip cookies and I'll be all right. They talk about, how what has been the span of your previous relationships. And for her, I did not write down what she said, but for him, he said it's been 6 years since his last serious relationship. And he's 35, so he hasn't been in a serious relationship since he was 29. That's a long time, in my opinion, to have gone without being in a serious relationship to now be married to somebody, because I would imagine that he's grown a lot in 6 years. I mean, everybody should grow a lot in 6 years, and the fact that you haven't been in a relationship in that amount of time is kind of concerning to me. But I think it kind of set off a red flag for her. But we'll see how that affects everything as we get further down into this process. He Everybody kind of did like little activities on the at the resort, and for them, he wanted to go jet skiing, which we never saw, but they ended up in a seaplane, which she wasn't feeling because she gets motion sickness. So he looked like he was just having the time of his life, and Myrla just looked over it. But Gilbert was really having a good time. And lastly, they talk about the bedroom routine, her eyelashes and her appointments for getting her eyelashes done, all that kind of stuff. She said it's time for her to get them done so she doesn't look like SpongeBob. But when she said she doesn't look like SpongeBob, I knew exactly what she meant. But Gilbert wasn't really sure. SpongeBob has three eyelashes, and so she was saying she doesn't want to look like that. And Gilbert was like, "Is that what you look like though when the eyelashes come off?" And I was cracking up at Gilbert. He was really funny tonight. Like he, and then he said, "Girl, turn your light off." Like he said, "You speaking foolishness right now. Like all of this that you talking about these eyelashes, three eyelashes. Just turn the light off. Let's just go to sleep because you sleepy." So Gilbert cracked me up this episode. All right, let's go to binding because we're gonna close it out with Rose. We gotta close it out with Rose. So let's talk about binding. Another morning, another time for Johnny to make fun of Bow's. Yeah, that noise is going to drive me crazy because I don't know what it is. Oh my gosh, y'all! I know y'all can't hear, but it's like a crack, 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 crack. Shit, I was trying to see. Is it the phone? Okay, stay focused, Travis. So it's another morning that Johnny can make fun of her snoring. If another morning for her to feel subconscious about it. He's a light sleeper, and they still sleeping with the pillow in between them. And yeah. So we talk about self confidence with bathing suits. They're both a little self conscious about how their body looks. Johnny hasn't worked that in have long. But he just, he's not sure. I guess, when you're with somebody new, you may have a little bit of insecurity. Is like, what is this person going to think when they see me? And they're both kind of going through that. But it was interesting because Bao said that she collects bathing suits, but 90% of them she's never worn, but she wears bathing suits around the house. That I thought was weird. Okay, they're a quirky couple. We know that much. But walking around your house wearing bathing suits is odd. I mean, walk around your house wearing lingerie is odd if you single. You know what I mean? But bathing suits though, like that just I didn't understand that at all. So Johnny decides that he wants to do something really nice for Bao. So he calls on Short Jose to come and help him, to come and help plan something nice for Bao because apparently Johnny feels. I think my wife said that she heard that they have a bromance going on or something like that. But Johnny really feels like Short Jose is suave. He's Rico. He's Rico Suave. I mean, of course, he's Jose. He's Rico Suave, and so he, I think, not necessarily looks up to him because that's not possible. But I don't want to say he looks down to him, but he admires, I guess, the kind of confidence that Short Jose has, and he wants to get just a little sprinklage of that. So they go to the little gift shop at the hotel that doesn't look like it offers much of anything, and they originally were looking at dresses, but somehow or another Johnny ended up buying a shirt for or like a flowy thing. I don't know what they call, but he bought a flowy thing for Bao, and he bought a linen shirt for himself. And he is going to, have a little special thing for her. Now, I know most resorts have an iron or a steamer. Steamers are amazing. I love steaming my clothes. I like ironing is not even a thing anymore for me. I love steaming my clothes. But every hotel that I've been at has either a steamer or an iron. And when you're wearing linen, you gotta hit that thing with an iron or a steamer because first of all the shirts that Johnny bought were balled up in a bag, and it looked like Johnny took his shirt and just said, "This will do right here." Like you could still see the creases from how it was folded, and I was just like, Johnny, you didn't hit that with some kind of heat. Like you could have put it in the bathroom, turned the shower on hot, it ain't like you paying the water bill. And it would have naturally knocked out some of those wrinkles. That's what you got to do on a cruise ship sometimes if you don't feel like walking around the corner to the ironing room. I was like, look at all them wrinkles in his shirt. Boy, you got on linen. You can't just be walking out here looking all like you came fresh out the plastic. But he has a little picnic for her. So at this picnic, he is very, very nervous. Like it is like oozing through the screen how nervous he is. But he just wants to take a moment to do something he never usually does, and just be honest with Bao about how he feels that he really likes her. And I mean, the good thing is she likes him too. They're on the same page as far as really feeling or starting to feel feelings for each other. And Bao even says that, what she's starting to feel for him is more than what she may have felt for somebody in a longer period in her past. So it's great. I mean, I think for me and my wife, Bonnie is our favorite couple right now. We enjoy watching them the most, given all the quirkiness of them, because they just seem the most authentic, and that's good to see. At one point in the night, they talk about the 100 first dates he's been on, because he just always has this issue with finding something wrong with somebody, and it's good that he's finally getting out of that. They retire the fort in between them in the bed, but as soon as they do that, Val has to be honest with him to let him know that the jokes that he makes about her snoring and stuff, it really gets to her, because early in the episode he was telling her it was like some wild animals in the room, and he's trying to laugh it off, but you could tell Val is just not really feeling it, and she's been very self-conscious about the snoring, to the point that she was some kind of camp counselor or something like that, and she was so self-conscious about her snoring, she wasn't getting no sleep, and at night she was just laying in the bed, just because she didn't want to fall asleep. So I thought that was a bit extreme, but clearly Bao is extreme in some instances, and that was no different. All right, and to our final and favorite couple to watch on the screen, Rose. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it like that. That's offensive. Rose, little Jose. I said little Jose. His name is Short Jose. Short Jose. They talk about how they're Short Jose and Rachel talk about how they're so similar, but she wants to get into how they're different, because that is important. They talk about coffee. Side note: I was just told the other day that coffee be having roaches in it. Did y'all know anything about coffee really being like roach water? Something about the FDA approved so many insects to be in coffee grinds, and wherever they get these coffee beans from, they be having roaches in it, and they can't get all the roach particles out, so they just leave some of the roaches in the coffee. Did y'all know y'all was drinking roach water? I don't drink it like that. I would drink it every now and then, but now that I know it's roach water, you ain't got to worry about me no more. Anyway, but they were talking about how they like to drink their roach water. But he feeds her, and he wants to brush her teeth, and she's independent, and of course they flash back to last week when he was deep throating his toothbrush. But I'm thinking, based on what I'm seeing from Jose, he don't want a wife. He want a daughter, and not in a sick way, but like he wants somebody that he can like cater to and pamper and pet and do her hair. Let me give you some cornrows. Let me brush your teeth. Let me floss for you. Let me feed you. Let me dress you. That's the vibe I'm getting. I'm getting controlling from Short Jose. That's what I'm getting. And y'all let me know if y'all are getting that as well. But she tells him that she's independent, and he's just like, I just want to take care of you. I just want to be a provider. Or just like his he's not feeling this. He's not feeling it because he wants to do everything for her. But she just wants him to understand that she's independent. She can do it herself. Like, I appreciate you, but chill. So for their little outing, they go on a boat. And did y'all notice the way he was helping her get on that boat? He had her yoked up by her shorts. Of course, this is my shirt. I can't show y'all my shorts. He had her yoked up by her shorts getting on the boat. And that's what else made me feel like you want a child. Like, you are yoking her up. I mean, yes, we know you don't want her to fall in the water. But she got two hands. You can grab either or. One of your hands had a hand. The other hand had her short, just like this, so she don't fall into that water. I was like, good grief. My wife had to point out, and I had to rewind, and we were dying laughing about how hard he was holding on to her shorts while she was getting in the boat. But they're supposed to go fishing. And of course he still wants to help her, show her stuff, and he go grabbing the fish, and I was like, oh, I know his hands stank. But when he was out there fishing, I was like, Jose looked like a little boy with a beard. I mean, he's so small looking on camera, and he could be taller than me in person, but on camera he looks so small. Like, he looked like a little boy with a beard out there fishing. Like he was just like, if he fell in the water, it would just go whoop. Like, that's just what I'm seeing. Like, he just looks so tiny. But they go out to dinner later that night, and they want to have he wants to have the conversation about where they're gonna live. Of course, I got two houses, and then they both paid off. I got it all together. And I would prefer that she lives on my side of town, because I'm the provider. I'm the one that's gonna take care of all of this. You gonna come live with me. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna bathe you, wash your feet, brush your teeth 2 times a day. That's where he's at with it. But they're not on the same page as far as where they're going to be after all of this is said and done. They talk about dogs before kids. They talk about finances, which we already know is a problem for her. But that conversation kind of left off with him talking about his his vision for it being that he wanted them to have just one joint account, and you pay for everything out of that joint account, and whatever's left you can use that, almost as if like she can have the scraps. And of course that is an old-fashioned way of thinking, but everybody has to do what works for them. For me and my wife, we have a joint account and we have our separate accounts, because when I want to do something, I'm gonna do it out my account. When she want to do something, she does it out of her account. When we're doing something for the kids, we can do it out of either the joint account, or we can do it out of our separate accounts. It's just, we got options. You know what I mean? But different strokes for different folks. You got to do what works for you. But that's pretty much all that really happened in this episode. Like I said, it wasn't really a lot, but I'm just proud of myself that I filmed this after working all day and sitting through 2 hours of that madness. All right, so y'all should thumbs up the video, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell notification, just for the fact that you got the review so early. Now I got to get it edited and make sure that everything works out with me doing this on my phone instead of my camera. But again, thank y'all so much for watching my review for Married at First Sight season 13 episode 5. If you can find it in your heart to donate to my brother's GoFundMe, please help him out if you can. Please help him out. I mean, I wish I could show y'all. And I think there are pictures on the GoFundMe. There are pictures on the GoFundMe. So if you go to the GoFundMe, you can really see how bad it is. But he's a great guy, really, really great guy. And it's unfortunate that his good deed has gotten him here, because y'all, the people who caused it, haven't even said sorry. Haven't even said sorry or offered to help. I'm not even gonna go down there. I'm not gonna talk about that. But thank y'all so much for watching this. Again, GoFundMe link is down in the description, and my newest donors choose is down there as well. That is backdoor. GoFundMe is most important. Rate, comment, subscribe, bell. Yeah. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace.